Today I'm joined by Della, a student at UC Berkeley. Hi Della.
Hi. Hi, I'm Daniela. You can call me Della. I came from National High Jakarta School, and I'm now in UC Berkeley as a freshman, studying, intending to study econ and maybe doubling in statistics, but I'm not sure yet. It's just all in the open. So I think, as you said, like you didn't have a goal. Like for me, I always had like some sort of goal in my head, which like helped me to do my best in my studies. So like obviously like studying in the States has always been like the final goal. And since I was younger, like my parents always um gave me the idea of studying in the States, which I loved. So that's why I always worked hard to get there. And I've always had like a good study, like a good work ethic, I would say in high school. So I was a very organized person, which could be like good and bad because being spontaneous is also like supposed to be fun and stuff. But I always loved like being organized and doing things like a lot earlier so that I don't have to like have like a lot of work stacked when the deadline comes. So that's kind of how I kept track of my studies and how I um, became like successful, I guess. I didn't really study like 24/7 in high school. I um, I was a very like I try to do all my work like in school. So when the teacher's teaching and stuff, like I always try to like understand it fully so that when I go back home, I don't have to like revisit everything again. So that's kind of how I did it in high school, yeah. Yeah, it was like a really fast process because it was like almost application season. So um, we had a lot on our plate, but I think the most important part was like getting the right people in your team and like you can work together with them really fast. So I've worked with these my team because they're my high school friends. Like I've worked with them like multiple times because National High was such a small school, so I basically worked with everyone before. So I know who I worked best with. So gathering my team wasn't that hard, and I know like who can do what and what they're good at. So I think delegating the jobs to the right people was what made our team like really efficient, and we could like work really fast and um, get the issue done in like a month. And we also had like a lot of friends from outside of our schools who could help us like be our guest speakers and guest writers. So that also helped in like getting the content for the issue. So it wasn't that hard to get the first issue, but the upcoming issues were a bit more difficult because we need to come up with more ideas. But at the same time, like our team worked really well together. So I think it was okay. I think writing the personal essay was the most challenging for me, because I remember like we had to go over my essay like so many times and talk to
Yeah.
different people to get like their input because one person might say this is a good idea and then another person would be like this is completely not related to college and everything. So I didn't know like what I wanted to write about and like what I should put and what I shouldn't put. And like the personal essay was very about me and like not about the college. So that was kind of harder too because I couldn't find anything online. It was like from myself.
Right.
So it was
Yeah.
really hard to tell a story and like there's so many stories that I could tell, but I don't know which one I should tell, right? So yeah, I think this is
Mhm.
like the longest process in my and also like the most critical process because you're submitting this to almost every college. So yeah,
Right.
it was hard.
And then I remember that Berkeley, because you got into Berkeley, Cornell, any other one that you were thinking about?
Yeah, I got into Claremont McKenna, UC San Diego, Santa Barbara, and also Pepperdine. Oh, honestly, it was a hard. a hard choice. Like
Yeah.
I've visited Berkeley before, and I've never been to the East Coast, like even until now. So I really didn't know what to expect from Cornell, but I was still like really interested in like. So I watched like a lot of YouTube videos, like day in the life in Cornell and like stuff like that. And I talked to people who went to Cornell because I've had like NH alumni also went to Cornell, so I was like talking to them. And
Okay.
honestly, at one point, I was leaning towards Cornell after talking to the people there. But then, I don't know why, like, I always loved the West Coast, I guess. And in terms of, like, job opportunities, like, near Silicon Valley, I think I was more interested in that area compared to, like, the East Coast, where it's more, like, investment banking and, like, stocks. So, so yeah, I chose Berkeley. Also because like I think like at the end of the day, like your heart will tell you like which one. So like it just leaned more to Berkeley at the end. So I think like if you're like in a dilemma between two schools, just like go with the flow and eventually one will be like catching your eye more. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
I think one thing is like obviously doing everything on your own. And in terms of studies, like no one's really helping you here. Like back where I'm from, like in National High, it was such a small school and I could talk to my teachers so easily, my counselors so easily. Like everyone is like one call away. But over here, like it's hard to know if you're on the right path because no one's really helping you like telling you which classes to take, even though there's like advisors here. Since Berkeley is such a big school, it's like hard to contact them. So you really have to like trust yourself and trust that you're going on the right path, which is pretty difficult. But then again, it's still my first semester, so it's normal to not know what you're doing. And then another thing I think is money management. Like I just never thought of that back home because I lived with my parents.
That's a good one.
But now here, it's like I'm on my own and like I have to decide like how I'm gonna spend my money. So yeah, I took up a job, like a work study job, and it's pretty fun, honestly. And like earning your own money is like very satisfying and rewarding. And yeah I like it. Yeah, I think like campus life is really nice. As in, you have like the actual campus where you have the buildings, like the classes, but then right outside it's like so much food, so much stores, and like dorm is like really close to campus. So you have like the best of both worlds, like both like, you know, like food and like city life. Not city life, like city life. And also like the campus life where you can go in and it's like peaceful and you can study. But also I like the people here. Like people here are like super nice and you can find a lot of different types of people. So since it's such a big school and there's people from everywhere, although like Berkeley is kind of Asian majority, but you still get to meet people from everywhere and it's really nice. And people are super friendly here and it's not actually as competitive as people say it is, or at least in my experience, like people are really nice. They want to help each other. So it's not like what everyone thinks of it, like, oh, Berkeley is so competitive. There's like half snakes and all of that. Like, I don't think it's like that. Yeah, so I've always loved like econ and math. Like those were like my favorite subjects in high school. So I really wanted to like do something with both of them, which I thought like econ and stats is a pretty close fit. So I don't really know what I want to do in the future yet, but I was like considering investment banking in the start, right? But then I've like joined like multiple clubs and they tell me like, oh, investment banking is super time consuming and like you stay up until like 2 a.m. in your office, and I'm like, do I really want to do that? So then now I'm thinking of like something with finance and consulting, or maybe like something in startups, but also combining like econ and stats. So yeah, I don't really know what I want to do yet. It's still out in the open, but that's like the path I'm going to. Yeah.
That's about it. Thank you so much for being in the podcast. It was very insightful.
Yay! Thank you.
A lot of great information, and hopefully it motivates a lot of the the younger generation.
Yes, come to Berkeley.
Yes. Thanks, Della.
Okay, thank you.